Hello, fellow fans. My name is Doug Bell, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And my wife, on our 30th wedding anniversary, or my 50th birthday, it was my 50th birthday, she gave me space in the basement for a fan cave. So I very quickly started building and making things to put my Star Wars collection in. And I decided that I wanted to start this channel to share some of my collection with you and other fellow fans and nerds. The start of it all was this little guy right here. I'm not very good with camera work, so sorry about that. This is C-3PO, the vintage Kenner C-3PO figure, and it was my very first Star Wars figure. My mother took me to the store and let me choose my figure, and I chose him because he was so shiny and cool, and I hadn't seen Star Wars yet. I really thought this circle on the front of him was a laser gun for some reason. And my younger brothers each got one Stormtrooper and one Darth Vader, so I played with the Star Wars figures, and the rest, as they say, is history. I decided for my first episode that I would share my very favorite, all-time favorite playset. So the playset that I got, I saved my Christmas money and used it to buy it, is the 1978 Kenner Death Star playset. And for this one, I do have the box. It's an older box and it's worn. None of my figures are toys are actually the ones I had in my childhood. Unfortunately, during a breakup, my toys were all sold from my childhood, so I had to start my collection over again into my marriage and after my children were born. But this was the very first playset I ever had, and it was my absolute favorite playset. I just loved using it to reenact and create my own scenes from the Star Wars movie, and for making up my own adventures. I really loved it. And you know, if you were like me as a kid, I really looked hard at the covers of these materials and tried to see what they were acting out and see if I could get mine to act out the same way. And then of course I would create my own adventures. So I have it here put together, and it is a 3-story, as you can see, it's a 3-story play set. And it's put together with cardboard and plastic posts mostly. It has this working elevator that goes up and down with this little tab, and you can lock it by twisting the tab on a floor and it will stay in place. And then I loved that the elevator itself, it spun to open. One of the fun play features of this playset is the trap door on the first floor. And underneath that trap door is, of course, the trash compactor. And the trash compactor has foam trash. I do have the original foam trash that came with this when I bought it, but it disintegrates, so it just sits in a plastic baggie on a shelf. And it has the Dianoga monster that pulls Luke under the water, and it's got a feature where the walls close in when you twist the crank. In the commercial, there was a fun feature where Han Solo was laying down and he cranked the child cranked it and the door popped open, and I always thought that was really cool. I could never really reenact that very well, but I always liked it. And then, so that's the fun feature. And then also another fun feature is the drawbridge, the light bridge, which extends. So there's a plastic extending light bridge where the bridge opens and closes. And there's this little plastic rope. A lot of them, when you buy them, these are replaced. These were easy to lose and break, and so a lot of the Death Stars, when you purchase them, don't come with them, and you have to buy it secondary. And often they are 3D printed, so you do want to watch out for that. And then, of course, there are cardboard panels that slide to cover the floors to give it that rounded side of the Death Star effect. And on the first floor there are 2 stands with pegs where you can stand up Death Squad commanders and make them look like they're working the computers. On the light bridge level there's another cardboard slide panel to make it look like the side of the Death Star. And then the very top floor is the gun. Now the gun has this piece here that's supposed to be on it that actually breaks really easily, so most of them actually are broken. I've tried to refasten mine several times and haven't discovered how. And it also has an action feature where if you slide the thing, the slide right here, the gun pops off like it got blown up. Now these were released in 1978 and they were really very popular. Sit back down so I'll be in frame. They were really very popular. I bought mine, I do remember, for $11 from the store was called Bradley's up in New England, and I missed those prices desperately, of course. A similar sized playset now probably would go for closer to $60, but that would be an all cardboard one. This one, since it's a combination of cardboard and plastic, would probably go for more than $60 now, here in the year 2026 we're in. I loved also a feature that I loved on this was you could get Ben Kenobi and put him on the back of the top floor elevator and pretend that he was disengaging the tractor beam so that the heroes could escape. I would have hours of play with this particular toy. The roof of it comes off, and it is just plastic posts that go into these 2 holes, and this cap rests on the elevator. I'll show you what that looks like. All of the floors are put together with these little plastic posts that you see. The top floor, because the gun pokes through, doesn't have a cardboard slide. I've seen online people who've bought 8 of these and put them together in a big circle, which is really cool. And I've seen a lot of creativity online of people who got multiples of these and would change the second floor to the Emperor's throne and put steps up to the throne and change the top floor or the bottom floor to something else, so it has different, you could make different scenes from different movies, and that's really fun too. All in all, this was always my favorite toy. I loved it when I got it, and I played with it for years and years and years until the move. And when we moved, half of it got lost, and I still kept the bottom floor and the bridge floor. The top floor was gone for a long time after that, until it got thrown away because it was, people thought it was broken, so my parents got rid of it. If you can get your hands on it, they go for around $100 now. They're usually not complete, so do be careful about the rope swing. Mine is a secondary market rope swing. It didn't come with it. I had to order it separate. And it probably is 3D printed. I'm not very good. I'll get it zoomed in for you. You stick Luke's hand in the little hole there, and you took the top hole and hung it on the little plastic hook. I don't really have an eye for knowing whether it's 3D printed or not, so if you'd like, you can put in the comments ways to tell if something is authentic, and that will help other viewers. I hope that you enjoyed my little review, and there's more to come. Maybe one day I'll show the whole fan cave, but for now I'm just kind of taking apart bits and pieces and reviewing them with you. I love the rubber that the Dianoga monster is made with. He's got, if you want a close-up of this, he's got a sail fin on the back that's ribbed, and then he's got the one eye that protrudes out, and his mouth is way down here, and then he has almost like dragon wing kind of tentacles, and then 2 tentacles in the back. So He's a really cool addition, and this really piqued my interest as a child because, as you know, in the movie they really only show this part of the monster, so it makes you wonder how big he was and what he looked like. The panels on the back of the elevator have stickers or labels on them that have mechanics that you can pretend your figures are touching and punching, and the same thing with the stickers on the deck of the first floor. Lots of mechanics and buttons, and of course they're flat because it's just a label. But this is the 1978 Kenner Death Star Playset. It had a European brother or sister that was a Palitoy Death Star playset that was all cardboard, and it was actually a half a sphere, a disc with standing up discs to divide the circle. So I never did have that because I was here in the US, so that wasn't available to us, but that looked like a really cool set too. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, hit that like button and subscribe so you can see my other posts and share with other Star Wars fans. May the Force be with you.